Debbie Lawrence's racewalking career has spanned over 20 years. Like many, she started as a runner and got injured. Having trouble staying injury-free, her running coach Mike DeWitt and then boyfriend Don Lawrence showed her the basics. The basics were all she needed, because in her first race she qualified for the U.S. Nationals. She qualified also to race internationally, and race internationally she did, but it wasn't enough to lure her to racewalking permanently. Returning to school and still on a scholarship for running, Lawrence ran cross-country and indoor track. She raced exceptionally well and qualified for nationals in the 1500-meter and 3000-meter races. However, Lawrence's bad knee would eventually cause her to focus on walking. Again, she qualified for nationals and competed overseas. It wouldn't be the last time. Over her career, she has been a 3-time Olympian, 8-time U.S. outdoor champion, and 4-time U.S. indoor champion. And to boot, she was the 1991 Pan America Games silver medalist. Lawrence still claims her best years are. Lawrence has had difficulty balancing training with her busy career teaching clinics, giving teleclasses for walking over a 10-week period to people all over the world, as well as promoting healthy eating and fitness for kids. Lynn Weik started racewalking like many New Yorkers. In the mid-1980s, the racewalk was a high school event, just like any other. Usually a few schools dominated the racewalking scene, mostly due to an interest by their coach. Weik's coach was one of these. He asked her to try the racewalk in her sophomore year. By her junior year, Weik finished third at the Junior Nationals, a 3K in a time of 15 minutes. Third was not good enough for Weik, who returned to the Junior Nationals her senior year and won in a time of 14:35. Weik, ever the tough competitor, was carried off the track in pain from an injury she walked through. It was well worth it, because she broke the junior national record and qualified for international competition. After high school, Weik attended college at SUNY Stony Brook, where there were no scholarships, but they had a renowned racewalking coach, Gary Westerfield. After 1 year of training under Gary's tutelage, Weik commenced a multi-year battle with America's best. Weik's first experience at the senior level was not a good one. In 1986, she competed in her first senior nationals and was disqualified. In 1987, Weik broke through into the senior ranks. Weik finished second at the 10K Nationals in a time of 47:36 and qualified for a heap of international competition. From 1987 to 1992, Weik battled Lawrence, Torrellas, and Vail for dominance in the 10K racewalk. Maryanne Torrellas had much success as a high school runner. Her 2:11 half mile and 4:32 1500 meter earned her top rankings and a Trek scholarship. But after 7 consecutive stress fractures in her foot, Peter Timmons, a nationally ranked racewalker and Torrellas' cousin, convinced Torrellas to racewalk. Torrellas dabbled in racewalking and found she really enjoyed it. She quickly got in shape and qualified for the 1978 Indoor Nationals. Torrellas was lured back into running, but got distracted from athletics by getting married and having her first child. After the pregnancy, Torrellas described herself as a walking house. She realized she needed to get back in shape. Motivation is always the key to success, so she set the goal for qualifying for the Outdoor Racewalk Nationals. In the process, Torrellas lost 35 pounds. Torrellas qualified by the skin of her teeth for the 1983 10K Outdoor Nationals. Her goal was simple. She didn't want to come in last. She raced beyond her dreams and finished in the top 4. Torrellas also qualified for the World Cup that year. Hoping to break 50 minutes for the 10K, she smoked the majority of the field with a 47:52, 16th overall. That was enough to sell her on racewalking. Torrellas managed to have 3 more kids in between the busy racewalking career that saw Torrellas win 6 10K national titles. After the second and third kids, she kept breaking American records. At one point, she had all records from 1500 meters to 10K. With all her success, Torrellas never competed in the Olympics. Later in her career, she was hampered by a series of knee injuries, and then finally a non-racewalking injury, heart valve damage, caused her to retire in 1996 after collapsing at the Olympic trials. Many race walkers do not start race walking as part of a long, thought-out plan. Michele Rohl was no different. Rohl was already an accomplished runner and a 15-time NAIA All-American before she ever entertained the idea of race walking. During her senior year, a running injury caused her to try race walking as a form of cross-training. That year, although she race walked, she never competed in an event. Coach Mike DeWitt thought that she had a talent for race walking, and in the following year, when Rohl had trouble qualifying for nationals as a runner, he suggested she try the race walk. Rohl was an immediate success. Rohl stayed on at Parkside through the 1992 Olympic Games, qualifying and finishing 20th. Rohl then headed to LaGrange, Georgia, where a group of elite American race walkers trained through the 1996 Olympic Games. She qualified for those as well. After the 1996 Games, the group moved to the new Olympic Training Center in California. Rohl could not join them because she was married and with kids. Families were not welcome at the center. The Rohl clan instead moved to northern Wisconsin for a while and then headed to Cloudcroft, New Mexico. Cloudcroft allowed Rohl to live at 9,000 feet but train at 4,000 feet. Very few places in the world allowed the benefit of high altitude living and lower altitude training. Rohl qualified for her third Olympic Games in 2000 and planned to stay there indefinitely. However, her husband Mike received a head coaching job at Mansfield University. Rohl also received an assistant track coach position in the same school. So now the Rohls are in Mansfield, PA, where Michele trains trying to qualify for her fourth Olympic Games. Rohl is also a proud mother of 4 kids. That's right, 4.